Welcome to wpGOsocial podcast, where we highlight great articles and news that you may have missed. If you want to see the full article, a link is in the description below. Don't forget to visit wpGOsocial.com today, where you can donate an article and support a great cause.
The first article is entitled Apple Patches 10-year-old macOS pseudo root privilege escalation bug, and it says, Apple has rolled out a fix for a critical pseudo vulnerability in macOS Big Sur, Catalina, and Mojave that could allow unauthenticated local users to gain root-level privileges on the system. A local attacker may be able to elevate their privileges, Apple said in a security advisory. This issue was addressed by updating to SUDO version 1.9.5p2. SUDO is a common utility built into most Unix and Linux operating systems that lets a user without security privileges access and run a program with the credentials of another user. Track the CVE 2021-3156, also called Baron Samedit. The vulnerability first came to light last month after security auditing firm Qualys disclosed the existence of a heap-based buffer overflow, which it said had been hiding in plain sight for almost 10 years. The vulnerability, which was introduced in the code back in July 2011, impacts SUDO versions 1.7 through January 7, 2010, page 9, 1.8.2 through January 8, 1931 p2, and 1.9.0 through 1.9.5 p1, following which the maintainers released January 8, 1932 and 1.9.5 p2 to resolve the issue. While the weakness can only be exploited by an attacker already having access to a vulnerable host, the barrier could be easily bypassed by planting malware on a device or brute forcing a low-privileged service account. In its report, Qualys researchers said they managed to develop multiple variants of exploit and obtain full root privileges on Ubuntu 20.04, SUDO January 8, 1931, Debian 10, SUDO January 8, 2027, and Fedora 33, SUDO 1.9.2. But last week, British security researcher Matthew Hickey discovered that the vulnerability also extended to the latest version of macOS Big Sur 11.2, prompting Apple to address the security shortcoming. CVE 2021-3156 also impacts said Apple macOS Big Sur unpatched at present. You can enable exploitation of the issue by symlinking sudo to sudoed and then triggering the heap overflow to escalate one's privileges to 1337 UID equals 0. Hickey tweeted on February 2nd. Besides the fix for the pseudo vulnerability, Tuesday's supplemental security update also includes patches for two flaws in Intel graphics driver, CVE 2021-1805 and CVE 2021-1806, which could cause an application to execute arbitrary code with kernel privileges. The vulnerabilities, which stem from an out-of-bounds write and erase condition, respectively, were rectified with additional validation, the iPhone maker said. Mac users who haven't opted to check for updates automatically can head to Apple menu, System Preferences, and then click Software Update to download and install the latest updates. The second article, Loader-Rat Windows malware now also targets Android devices, and it goes. A previously known Windows Remote Access Trojan, RAT, with credential stealing capabilities has now expanded its scope to set its sights on users of Android devices to further the attacker's espionage motives. The developers of Loader-Rat have added Android as a targeted platform, Cisco Talos researchers said in a Tuesday analysis. A new iteration of Loader-Rat for Windows has been identified with improved sound recording capabilities. Casablanca, the group behind the malware, is said to have deployed the new RAT in an ongoing hybrid campaign targeting Bangladeshi users, the researchers noted. The reason why Bangladesh-based organizations have been specifically singled out for this campaign remains unclear, as is the identity of the threat actor. First documented in May 2017 by Proofpoint, Loda is an auto malware typically delivered via phishing lures that's equipped to run a wide range of commands designed to record audio, video, and capture other sensitive information, with recent variants aimed at stealing passwords and cookies from browsers. The latest versions, dubbed Loda 4 Android and Loda 4 Windows, are a lot alike in that they come with a full set of data gathering features that constitute a stalker application. However, the Android malware is also different, as it particularly avoids techniques often used by banking Trojans, like abusing accessibility APIs to record on-screen activities. Besides sharing the same command and control C2 infrastructure for both Android and Windows, the attacks, which originated in October 2020, have targeted banks and carrier-grade voice-over IP software vendors, with clues pointing to the malware author being based in Morocco. The attackers also made of a myriad number of social engineering tricks, ranging from typo-squatted domains to malicious RTF documents embedded in emails that, when opened, triggered an infection chain that leverages a memory corruption vulnerability in Microsoft Office CVE 2017-11882 to download the final payload. While the Android version of the malware can take photos and screenshots, read SMS and call logs, send SMS and perform calls to specific numbers, and intercept SMS messages or phone calls, its latest Windows counterpart comes with new commands that enable remote access to the target machine via Remote Desktop Protocol RDP and sound command that makes use of base audio library to capture audio from a connected microphone. The fact that the threat group has evolved into hybrid campaigns targeting Windows and Android shows a group that is thriving and evolving, said researchers with Cisco Talos. Along with these improvements, the threat actor has now focused on specific targets, indicating more mature operational capabilities. As is the case with earlier versions of LODA, both versions of this new iteration pose a serious threat, as they can lead to a significant data breach or heavy financial loss. And the final article is entitled Microsoft Issues Patches for In the Wild 0-Day and 55 Others Windows Bugs, and it says, Microsoft on Tuesday issued fixes for 56 flaws, including a critical vulnerability that's known to be actively exploited in the wild. In all, 11 are listed as critical, 43 are listed as important, and 2 are listed as moderate in severity, 6 of which are previously disclosed vulnerabilities. The updates cover NET Framework, Azure IOT, Microsoft Dynamics, Microsoft Edge for Android, Microsoft Exchange Server, Microsoft Office, Microsoft Windows Codex Library, Skype for Business, Visual Studio, Windows Defender, and other core components such as kernel, TCP/IP, print spooler, and remote procedure call, RPC. A Windows Win32K privilege escalation vulnerability. The most critical of the flaws is a Windows Win32K privilege escalation vulnerability CVE 2021-1732, CVSS score 7.8, that allows attackers with access to a target system to run malicious code with elevated permissions. Microsoft credited Jin Kwan, Matinza, Tuxeoyi, and Liheo of DBAPP Security for discovering and reporting the vulnerability. In a separate technical write-up, the researchers said a zero-day exploit leveraging the flaw was detected in a very limited number of attacks against victims located in China by a threat actor named BitterApp. The attacks were discovered in December 2020. This 0-day is a new vulnerability which caused by Win32K callback. It could be used to escape the sandbox of Microsoft Internet Explorer, browser, or Adobe Reader on the latest Windows 10 version, DBAPP security researchers said. The vulnerability is high quality and the exploit is sophisticated. It's worth noting that Adobe, as part of its February patch, addressed a critical buffer overflow flaw in Adobe Acrobat and Reader for Windows and macOS, CVE 2021-21017, that it said could lead to arbitrary code execution in the context of the current user. The company also warned of active exploitation attempts against the bug in the wild and limited attacks targeting Adobe Reader users on Windows, mirroring aforementioned findings from DBAPP Security. While neither Microsoft nor Adobe has provided additional details, the concurrent patching of the two flaws raises the possibility that the vulnerabilities are being chained to carry out the in-the-wild attacks. Netligan enforcement mode goes into effect. Microsoft's Patch Tuesday update also resolves a number of remote code execution (RCE) flaws in Windows DNS Server, CVE 2021-24078, NET Core, and Visual Studio, CVE 2021-26701, Microsoft Windows Codex Library, CVE 2021-24081, and Fax Service, CVE 2021-1722 and CVE 2021-24077. The RCE in Windows DNS Server component is rated 9.8 for severity, making it a critical vulnerability that, if left unpatched, could permit an unauthorized adversary to execute arbitrary code and potentially redirect legitimate traffic to malicious servers. Microsoft is also taking this month to push the second round of fixes for the Zeroligan flaw, CVE 2020-1472, that was originally resolved in August 2020, following which reports of active exploitation targeting unpatched systems emerged in September 2020. Starting February 9th, the domain controller enforcement mode will be enabled by default, thus blocking vulnerable Netligan connections from non-compliant devices. In addition, the Patch Tuesday update rectifies two information disclosure bugs, one in Edge browser for Android, CVE 2021-24100, that could have revealed personally identifiable information and payment information of a user, and the other in Microsoft Teams for iOS, CVE 2021-24114, that could have exposed the Skype token value in the preview URL for images in the app. RCE flaws in Windows TCP/IP stack. Lastly, the Windows Maker released a set of fixes affecting its TCP/IP implementation, consisting of two RCE flaws, CVE 2021-24074 and CVE 2021-24094, and one denial of service vulnerability CVE 2021-24086, that it said could be exploited with a DOS attack. The DOS exploits for these CVEs would allow a remote attacker to cause a stop error. Microsoft said in an advisory. Customers might receive a blue screen on any Windows system that is directly exposed to the internet with minimal network traffic. Thus, we recommend customers move quickly to apply Windows security updates this month. The tech giant, however, noted that the complexity of the two TCP/IP RCE flaws would make it hard to develop functional exploits, but it expects attackers to create DOS exploits much more easily, turning the security weakness into an ideal candidate for exploitation in the wild. To install the latest security updates, Windows users can head to Start, Settings, Update and Security, Windows Update, or by selecting Check for Windows Updates. This is where we're gonna stop reading. Do you want to know more? If you'd be interested in reading the entire article, let me know by typing full in the comments. If not, type pass. Thanks for being here with me. Monthly giveaways coming soon on wpGOsocial.com. Subscribe so you don't miss out. I have a goal of reaching 2,525 subs by the end of the year, and you can help to make that possible. Comment if you would like me to continue sharing content like this. New uploads Tuesdays and Thursdays. See you next time.